welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, I can hear a story titled, Am I the A-hole for reporting a woman to HR who misunderstood my comment and getting her fired? And a shout out to Fred for sending this story. And guys, like the title says, this is all about a guy who rightfully so took action and got this new hire, female coworker, canned after she starting all this drama for him in the workplace. And I thought we'd go over here, guys, where in this situation the guy wins, thank the Lord here, but it could have ended very differently if, depending on where he worked, how he handled things, and all that. And this goes to show you, gentlemen, that how careful you have to be in the workplace nowadays. I think things are getting a tad bit better nowadays, but still, this crap goes on. And if you're not careful, you get canned, because we all know darn well that all it takes is just someone going to HR, saying a bunch of things, that they felt this or felt that, and that's all it takes. And boom, the guy's automatically guilty, regardless of what happened. So this is why it's so important, gentlemen, and why guys have been doing this for a while now, that there's no private meetings between a man and a woman. Make sure there are other people present. If not, you're recording it, if that's legal in your state or for your company. You keep it professional. You can be cordial, professional, but that is it. There's no going the extra mile. There's no becoming friends with your female coworkers, talking about your personal life, your problems. And for all the sacred and holy, don't flirt with, hit on, try to pick up or date your female coworkers. It's not worth it, because all it takes is one complaint. And if that company doesn't want to risk bad press or a lawsuit, you're out of there. End of story. Because all she has to do is say, that's just how I felt. He made me feel this way. He was flirting with me. If you're just being nice, what can be universally described as being friendly and helpful. No joke. It happens. I've covered too many of these things. But anyhow, I'm going on too long here. You get the point. So it starts off, says here, I, a 32-year-old male, have been together with my girlfriend for 7 years, and we're really happy together. My girlfriend works in the service industry, and I was raised with 3 sisters by a single mom. Holy cow. That sounds like hell on earth. 3 sisters and a mom. 4 chicks under one roof and you. Man. I'm all too aware of the creeps that the women deal with on a daily basis, and I try to be vocal when other guys cross the line and stick up for them like I would my sisters. Well, that's great and all, but sometimes, I don't know. Of course you stick up for your family and your female friends and all that, but sometimes the guys actually aren't doing things. But it depends. If they actually are doing something, then you do it. But if the women are just getting worked up to get worked up, that's different. Well, 3 months ago, a new woman, a 24-year-old female I'll call Kristen, started working at our central office. She made it uncomfortably clear that she was interested in me by always staying too close and finding reasons to touch me often. Right there. Uncomfortably clear. Staying too close, personal space, and finding reasons to touch me often. What would happen to an average guy if he was staying too close to a female coworker and is repeatedly touching on her arm, touching on her knee? You get the point. He's toast. But if she does it, and a guy has an issue with it, oh my God, he's so lame. He's overreacting. Right here. I looked at how she was with other people to be sure this wasn't in my head. It wasn't. She was always touching my arm, picking something off my shirt, etc. I made a point of talking about my girlfriend frequently and showed no affection back to her. Yeah, by you saying you have a girlfriend and by not giving her more attention, that's going to make her want you more. I could tell she was disappointed when I finally said I needed a little more personal space and started to keep my distance. I didn't talk about it at work, but I updated my girlfriend daily. Kristen was always lurking around my cubicle trying to listen to my conversations. Freaking stalker. But when she tried to insert herself in our discussions, I found reasons to walk away. So now comes the point where it's like, oh, he's rejecting me? Oh, I'll punish him. Well, Kristen cornered me a little over a month ago in the break room and told me in front of 2 of the women that I made her uncomfortable the day before. Well, funny how uncomfortable. How about all the times you made me uncomfortable, you're putting your hands all over me? That's when he should have went to HR, but because this guy was raised by a single mom and 3 sisters, and see dudes, do things to them, we can debate whether it's wrong or right. He's not doing anything about it. Now he's making her uncomfortable. She said she overheard me insult her and other women's appearance with other guys in the office. I had no idea what she was talking about, and the other women that have known me for a long time kind of laughed it off. It was really awkward. I walked out after telling her I'd never say anything like that. I was shocked and just wanted to get out of there. Well, it's good he got out of there. And it's also good that this dude has female coworkers that knows that he doesn't do this kind of bullshit. One of the women approached me after this and told me what Kristen shared with them after I left. She said me and the other guys were complaining that it wasn't fair that they had to work with her while the other women are so much hotter. This guy's like, what the hell is she talking about? After some confusion, I thought about it and understood. The day before, a group of us, men and women, were discussing how one side of the office was getting bigger air conditioner when the other side was in front of the larger windows with direct sunlight and was much hotter. We said it wasn't fair that one side was much hotter, and it is. There you go. She's eavesdropping again. Doesn't like the guys rejecting her and found her excuse to give him a hard time. Except she didn't hear the whole conversation. She heard what she wanted to hear. I really felt terrible because even though she was eavesdropping and misunderstood, that would be a shitty thing to overhear. Smack! Bullshit. She was looking for trouble. Don't be too nice, dude. I immediately went over to her desk and explained what happened. Good luck with that. She looked angry and said, whatever you say, and kept shuffling papers around. Later that day, I saw her talking low to a woman near her and staring daggers at me. The woman she was talking to looked surprised and watched me. So here we go. And again, when do these people fucking work? When do these people do their jobs? Help clients, help customers, do what they're there to do. Instead of all this drama, right? And this is the same girl who wouldn't leave him alone before. Now she's making his life difficult in another way. That night, after discussing with my girlfriend, she told me I needed to go to HR. I didn't want to go at first because I didn't want any record of me doing something I didn't, but she convinced me that things like this don't go away and it could blow up my reputation. You're darn right, Mr. Nice Guy. Look, I get nobody wants to be a tattletale or anything like that, but look, he needs to understand the world that we're in right now. Because it's basically, I don't want to quite say kill or be killed, but kind of is, you know? Look at what she was doing to him. The next day, I talked to HR and asked that they facilitate a conversation between me and Kristen. When HR asked me about how we work together, she saw me hesitate and tried to talk around it. So, he's kind of bumbling, Mr. Nice Guy. After some coaxing, I did tell some of the behaviors towards me, but made sure I said that she had never crossed the line. Smack! She did cross the line. Come on, dude. At the end of the day, she called me in to follow up and said that she appreciated that I was proactive because the situation was resolved positively and to let her know if anything else came up. In other words, she talked to the crazy chick. She said she didn't think there would be any issues anymore. Fat chance. I didn't get any more details than that. I thought everything was okay until later that night when I got a phone call from a number I didn't recognize. Who do you think could be calling? Maybe it's a political phone call. Remember all those back a few months ago? I let it go to voicemail and listened to the message. It was Kristen screaming at me, that I was trying to gaslight her and trying to make her out to be the problem. Aren't you the same chick that had your hands all over me constantly in my personal space just a short time ago? She said she knew all my guy friends would cover for me, and I may have everyone else fooled, but she knew who I really was. Well, number one, the bee is crazy. Number two, women hating rejection. My girlfriend and I talked about it and agreed that she has some real issues and I need to send the message to HR again that night and avoid her tomorrow. You need to get to HR immediately. Again, when do people get to work at this company? Well, I got to work later in the day and after a morning consult outside the office and walked in on a Kristen angry, talking to a few people about the meeting with HR that she had that morning and saying I was so immature and a creep. I have a voicemail right here I can play for all the people you're tarnishing my name with about how crazy you are. Yeah, I'm sure you weren't supposed to do that. I turned and walked away. She realized I heard her and followed me, begging me to please not tell HR she was just talking about the meeting. Because HR told her don't talk about the meeting. You're screaming at me in the voicemail and all this, and now you're begging and pleading? She said she wasn't supposed to talk about it. She begged me and cried. Well, bring on the tears. She said she needed the job and she has no power in the situation, and it wasn't fair. Wasn't fair? What are you, a freaking first grader? She begged me to do the right thing. That did give me pause because I think I realized in the moment she really believes she heard me say the things about her. It also occurred to me that she may be reacting to someone who did this to her in the past. Smack! Stop trying to find reasons to feel bad for her or not do what you gotta do. Protect yourself. You protect your job. You protect your career, reputation. What, you want to lose your job for her and her nonsense? Come on, man. I just ignored her and called my girlfriend. She agrees that there were probably some deeper issues going on, but she said I had to report it. Well, this guy's girlfriend has a brain. This guy does not. It was not going to stop. She was damaging my reputation. I sat down at my desk and recorded every detail of what I heard her say and asked for support to resolve this. Well, gee, where do you think this is going to go? Well, Kristen was let go that night. Ha ha ha. Could happen to a nicer girl. Again, remember her being touchy-feely and all that? If he did the same thing to her, can you imagine what would have happened? She sobbed on her way out the door. It was all around terrible situation. I found out later that HR spoke first to Kristen. They had immediately called in a few people to ask about the original conversation about one side of the office being hot. There were men and women that they spoke to. They had a clear picture of what happened. Explained to Kristen and warned her not to malign my reputation with gossip that was not true. Again, this is like freaking junior high. It's ridiculous. Thank God, with the exception of a couple years when I worked in a gym learning the ropes, so I eventually became a personal trainer and then eventually started my own personal training business, I've worked for myself since 2001. And I don't deal with all this shit in the workplace. And I'm sorry, so obviously so many of you guys deal with this crap day in, day out. But I thank all you guys that I get to do what I do here on YouTube and create a business out of it. I don't have to deal with fucking wackos like this. Anyway, it says here, they had warned her against contacting me before she sent the first voicemail. They thought she understood it was a misunderstanding and were very surprised and angry that she called me. Because she's unhinged. She has no self-control. She's nuts. The night she was let go, she yelled at everyone and told them I was a perv and probably a, wait for it, rapist. Yeah, he made a wrong decision there. There's one woman who was Kristen's friend at work who thinks I'm a huge a-hole. Of course there's one. She says that Kristen was young and vulnerable, that I ruined her life instead of letting it just go after apologizing. No, Kristen ruined her own job and situation here. End of story. And by the way, can you all guess that probably this isn't her first rodeo pulling this crap off? Kristen apparently can't even get a job interview in our field in the area because everyone knows about this. Gossip spreads fast. Well, that's Kristen's fault, and you better stop harassing me about this, otherwise I'm going to HR about you, sugar muffin. Everyone else in the office is glad she's gone. I guess there was some other uncomfortable thing she was doing with other people. Imagine that, except nobody had the balls to say anything. I don't know all the details. At first, thought we all dodged a bullet. But this one woman will not stop trying to make me feel guilty. And it's working. She says I'm denying responsibility by saying I talk with my girlfriend. She talks about male privilege, and the thing is, she's right, and males do have much more privileges, and women really aren't believed enough. Smack, smack, smack. God, this is the problem with this dude being raised by a single mom and having 3 sisters. He's really been brainwashed you. Get the fuck out of here. Everybody has a privilege nowadays. We all know who it is. If a guy can be canned, pretty much no questions asked for an accusation, we know who has the privilege. All right? Come on here, dude. This woman is harassing you. You need to go back and complain about her. I agree with her about that, but I really didn't say these things. She says every man says that. She brings it up every single time I see her. Did I make a big deal of nothing and ruin some gal's career? Am I part of the real problem I claim to fight against? Smack, dude. You know, this girl he's with, she's going to dump his ass pretty soon. He doesn't man the hell up and stop acting like some man bun avocado toast California motherfucker here, because this is ridiculous. Now to an update. And let's just see if he was in the wrong here about her. He says, for everyone saying to report her friend, I really don't want to. I think she really believes she's speaking up for her friend and in the right. And I don't want to be known as the guy who runs the HR whenever there's a disagreement. Well, I get you don't want to build a reputation, but this chick's harassing you. And you need to make it clear through your actions that if anybody messes with you, you're going to make their lives a living hell. It is what it is. And you can't do your job. This chick is harassing you. I think people know she's wrong, so I'm less worried about that. I didn't want to see anybody get fired. I was so relieved, but when she left crying, she looked really desperate, and I just sat there blankly. I didn't feel vindicated. It's shady to think someone is going through her whole life thinking of me as a bad guy. Who cares if she thinks you're a bad guy? That girl that got canned is an a-hole, and you're about to find out more. And this chick giving you a hard time is an a-hole too. Guys, it doesn't matter if people don't like you. Not everybody's going to like you. Do you know how many people hate me on this planet because of what I do on YouTube? Do you think that bothers me how I sleep at night? Oh, hell no. I sleep great every night. Now another update. He says, for those who said HR must have had her on the radar to move so quickly, you hit the nail right on the head. I don't know everything because everyone is still kind of tight-lipped, but after hiring her, there were things that came out about problems with the company she transferred from. Well, how about that? She obviously has a history of this type of crap. Her great references are probably just trying to get rid of her. She also had been to HR over other things before this. Now you want to stop feeling bad, Mr. Nice Guy? I mean, I'm glad this worked out well for you in the end. You didn't get canned, but God's sakes, man, wake up. I'm not sure what to think about all this now. I thought it was all really handled really well, but I'm pissed that no one was allowed to talk about anything, and I also wasn't supposed to talk about anything. There are legal reasons probably, but it put everyone in a kind of dangerous situation. What he means is HR said you're not supposed to talk about these things. Well, people need to be aware of what's going on to protect themselves. Plus, I was told it was resolved positively when she had to know it wasn't. I think now she asked about how things were between us because she already knew. Also, since she was here only for 3 months, she was still a probationary hire, which I didn't realize we started doing. So many of your comments made me realize I'm being an idiot for not reporting what's happening now and can be putting future people at risk. You're darn right you're being an idiot. You're too much of a nice guy. Again, time to go to the barber and buzz off that man bun of yours because you're acting like a guy with a man bun. You probably have skinny jeans too, don't you? I'm going to talk tomorrow about her friend. Some of you suggested recording her on my phone, and I was going to do that, but I looked it up, and I can't use it because my state is something called a two-party consent state. Basically, it means I can't record someone without their consent. Then don't do it, dude. And good for you for being smart to look that up. You don't want to. That's all you'd need, and she'd be after you like you wouldn't believe it. Last, I want to explain to people who said I seemed like I was trying too hard to sell myself as the good guy and obviously not the a-hole. There may be some truth to that. Some truth to that? There's a whole lot of truth to that, dude. I should have known better, but I did some stupid things when I was younger, and my view of things changed a lot when something bad happened to a woman in my life. Not my story to tell, but I've seen what happens when they aren't believed. So yeah, some was me concerned that this wasn't ammunition for a-holes, and some was guilt over wondering if my career would be ruined if someone overheard me and reported me when I was younger, and probably did say things like that at work. Well, whatever, dude. You know that chick was in the wrong, so therefore you should have taken action. Both chicks. One thing that's become clear to me is that I wouldn't have gone to HR if not for my girlfriend. I like this guy's girlfriend a lot more than I like this guy. I guess I thought of it like tattling or like running to mommy. Until I read through all the comments you're saying the same thing, there was still a part of me thinking that it's about what's currently going on. It feels stupid to write that, but it's true. This whole experience has changed my view on that. Thanks for beating it into me. Well, Mr. Man Bun, you deserved the audience here, the commenters, to beat it into you because you need to wake up and realize that. And I hope you've changed for the better instead of being so biased and one-sided here. But anyhow, guys, even though you want to slap him like I did through the whole story here, this guy did not deserve to lose his job, which would have happened if he didn't take action. And that harpy would have been still, well, I don't know if that harpy would have still been working there, but I'm sure there would have been other male victims. And so, guys, the point of the whole story is you need to, if something's going on in the workplace and some gal's making you feel uncomfortable, you got to take action. And I get it's an uphill battle, but clearly if you don't, sooner or later they're going to pull that crap on you because guess what? They don't like rejection. No, nobody likes rejection, but it seems that gals take it to a whole new level, especially they're used to getting attention all the time. And so I advise that you're having if you're work with your female coworkers or your coworkers, nothing more. Keep it professional. Don't joke around. Don't be their friend. Certainly don't be flirtatious and ask them out. The workplace is for business. Earn a paycheck. Build your career. If you're going to have a meeting, make sure somebody else is there, or at least the company has cameras around. I'm going on here to protect yourself because this type of crap happens. And it's total bullshit and infuriates me. And hopefully things get a little bit better, seeing the backlash that happens. But yeah, You gotta be careful. And don't get me wrong, there are guys out there that in the past, in the present, and probably the future have pushed it and done some pretty awful things. Because, come on here, we all have daughters or sisters or female cousins or girlfriends or wives, and we don't want that scumbags doing what scumbags do to them. But when good men who've done nothing wrong get harassed and can lose their jobs because some gal just has a bug up her butt, wants to win a lawsuit or get a big settlement or get revenge on a guy, that is wrong. And you gotta stand up for yourself and you gotta take action and protect yourself. End of story. Anyhow, enough of my rant. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know, guys, in the comment section. Have you been through something like this? How'd it go? I want to hear about that. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.